It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Hey, if you're just joining us, good. Because we've already had a nightmare of a start, but now we figured it out. We got the right buttons pushed.
I think we're back in business.
We're all back in business. Let's get down to some headlines. Paul Fletcher, I'm feeling Minnesota.
All right. The public visitation for beloved hockey writer Jesse Pierce was held yesterday afternoon at Muller Memorial Funeral Home in White Bear Lake. The latest on the investigation is that officials say there is no evidence that the fire was intentionally set, thankfully. Most, I'm sure, know the story by now, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it, which is the main reason that I wanted to bring up the visitation. Jesse, obviously a friend of the show, and it's been an incredibly difficult week and a half.
I've known Jesse for a little over a year, and it weighed on me every day, every hour since I found out. So I can only imagine what this has been like for everybody that's been a part of her life and that she was in their lives for years and years. Jessie is just the best of the best, and we're going to miss her greatly around here. The playoffs are going to feel different. You know what I mean? Like when I think hockey in Minnesota, that's who I think of first and foremost. So for her friends and family and for everybody who's feeling this one, man, our hearts are with you. We're devastated, and that's never, ever going to make sense.
I knew her about 10 years. We weren't super close at first, but over the last year, especially with her being on the show here, it just gave us an excuse to talk more often. We got even closer. We even, it was sort of a joke, but we found out through marriage that we were actually distant cousins within the last 2 months. And so we were joking in text back and forth about, hey, cousin, that's what we called each other. The coverage of her passing shows the hole that she's going to leave. I saw it on People magazine. David Muir, ABC Nightly News. It was just unreal to see, our little old Jessie being covered everywhere. It was, it's a massive hole, obviously.
Yeah, irreplaceable on this show, irreplaceable as a human on this planet.
1,000%. Well said, Ryder. Thank you. It's estimated as many as 8 million people participated in the No Kings rallies Saturday across the country, according to organizers, with participants demonstrating against what they characterized as authoritarian overreach by the Trump administration. Roughly 3,300 events were scheduled across the country, with nearly 40 rallies held internationally. 100 to 200,000 participants were estimated at the Twin Cities rally. Project Hail Mary had a massive weekend and dominated the box office for the second weekend in a row, raking in $54.5 million, bringing its total to $164.3 million domestically. Ryan Gosling is fantastic. The little rock dude that's in it is great. The music is outstanding. The cinematography is outstanding. Please go see this movie. It's a blast.
What is the little rock dude that's in it?
So I don't want to give away too much. You see it in the trailer a little bit, but it's basically...
Is that the alien thing?
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's a teacher who is shoved into becoming an astronaut to save the world, and he meets an alien species while he's out exploring the universe. It's heavy and light. It's a box office popcorn flick and a really great cinematic accomplishment all at the same time.
I would recommend seeing it in IMAX because we went and saw it, and
you did?
Don't think it would work nearly as well on a regular screen. It's great. It's fine. Does exactly what you want it to do. But I'm just saying the IMAX thing's really, really, really cool.
Did you enjoy it as much as I did?
No.
No?
I enjoyed it. It was fine. I wasn't waiting for it to end. I haven't thought about it twice since I left.
Okay,
but it was for 2.5 hours. I was right there.
All right.
And Gosling's great. I mean, not too many people are going to hold 75% of a movie by themselves.
That's true. People on TikTok are hyping a new trend where they look to add protein to your morning routine by dumping yogurt into coffee. Here's a TikToker getting in on it.
Starbucks large black iced coffee, flavored yogurt. It's all they had, man. It's all they had. Coffee yogurt boy, coffee yogurt boy. The fact that I went to get Starbucks, coconut water, yogurt, brought my cinnamon, all of this, and my flight takes off in 3 minutes. That's dedication to the coffee yogurt lifestyle.
Do you only have to get this at the airport? Yeah.
What the hell?
Who is this guy on TikTok?
Jeez, no kidding.
You know what? That might actually be a way to... I might try... maybe I'll just try black coffee with a big chunk of Greek yogurt in it to see if I can tolerate coffee. Sounds like a win-win if I could get it down.
If you've made it this far without coffee, there's no reason to. You might as well start smoking too.
Might make me cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely use some cool points.
I don't know. There's good things about coffee. I was real anti-coffee ice cream until I had some, and then it was a game changer.
Yeah,
so who knows?
That's very
coffee
true.
Ice cream, really?
That's very true.
I see what you're saying. I thought you meant ice cream in your coffee. You mean coffee-flavored ice cream. I got you now.
Yeah.
I got you now. Yeah.
All right, let's talk sports. A lot of things going on. Briefly, Minnesota Gophers women, great season, one of the best ever. They made it into the Sweet 16. They got boat raced on Friday night by UCLA, which was hardly a surprise. UCLA's 34-1. They're the number one seed.
Right.
But for the Minnesota Gophers women, 24-9, great year. Going into the Sweet 16, all the teams of the 16 teams, the state with the most players, the most high school players on Sweet 16 rosters, Minnesota.
Oh, hell yeah.
13 women from this state were in the Sweet 16. That's ahead of Texas, Florida, and California, the next three.
Is that the Paige Beckers effect?
There's just a whole lot of good basketball in this state.
Man.
The Twins are back. They are now 1-2. A ridiculous loss yesterday in Baltimore. Scored 6 runs, but had 3 base running errors, 3 outs on the bases.
Oh.
Left the bases loaded in the 7th and 9th innings. Guys.
What?
But hey, they're hitting the ball. They're making things happen. They're scrappy. We'll see what happens. Again, they're 1-2. The Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards coming back into the lineup. He will play every game for the rest of the season for one real simple reason. Whether his knee hurts or not, if he doesn't play, then he's ineligible for postseason awards.
Oh,
You've got to play a minimum number of games to be in the consideration for first-team All-NBA, MVP, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a feeling he'll make an appearance in every game the rest of the way.
All right, then.
They are tied right now, the Wolves, for the 5th seed with Houston. They will play again in the second to last game of the season.
Okay.
Hope springs eternal. We're in the top 4 of the West because that's where you want to be. The Wild got boat raced in Boston Saturday night. They have dropped 6 of their last 9 games. A few more days to think about it. Not back on the ice until Thursday when the Canucks come to town.
They're a mess right now.
They're a mess.
I don't understand what is happening. I haven't been able to watch super closely, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yesterday at the Grand Casino Arena, the Frost lost to the Boston Fleet 4-2. Former Frost player Mound Westonka alum Liz Sheppers with the tie-breaking goal. Just under 10,000 people at the game, so that's great to see that many people going out to see the Frost.
For sure.
Third in the standings behind Boston and Montreal, well ahead of 4th place Ottawa.
Yeah.
March Madness is absolutely rolling, and about 95% of college basketball fans like me yesterday jumped up and thanked their lucky stars as UConn did this to Duke.
72-70, Duke, 10 seconds to go. Get it into Boozer, back for Sarr, ahead, Boozer, that ball deflected and stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds, Mullins tosses it up. Oh! Whoa. It's good! We're point 3! UConn goes in front! Utterly impossible! March means drama!
It's a 50-year. They'll be showing that highlight for 50 years. It's just like, the Christian Laettner turnaround over Duke from 92, 34 years ago. There was one yesterday that's every bit as impactful because this too sent a team to the Final Four, and this was Duke taking it on the chin. The craziest thing ever. First of all, Duke led by 19 points late in the first half. This is the first time. So in March Madness history, a number 1 seeded team, when having at least a 15-point lead at halftime, was 134-0 until yesterday.
Wow.
It was amazing watching UConn battle back against Duke. And it was the wildest thing. Duke inbounded the ball with 10 seconds to go. And with a lead. All they had to do was run out 10 seconds. Didn't even have to cross midcourt.
Yeah.
There was no backcourt violation. And there was exactly 10 seconds. You just got to run out the clock. And UConn was pressing, and the guys from Duke were like, we got to beat the press. And they were trying to throw the ball.
They panicked.
It's a real brain fart moment.
Wow.
That, again, most of the people watching were thrilled with.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You either like Duke or you hate them.
Yeah,
Right.
I watched about 4 minutes of college basketball while we were gone, and it was the last 4 minutes of that game.
That was the right 4 minutes to watch.
Yes.
Great stuff right there. The Twins are back.
Yeah, they got one win. That's
They got one win. They got one win. They're 1-2 after a weekend at the beautiful Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Orioles took them down 2 out of 3.
Is Baltimore winning 90 games this season? Are they good?
You know what? I've stopped paying attention.
Okay.
Because last year the Orioles. This is my longest standing lifelong sports affiliation. I'm an Orioles fan.
Right.
I remember my earliest sports memory is them losing to the Miracle Mets in '69. I was 4. And I was like, wait a minute, baseball hurts.
Yeah, it does.
So, but then we got it back the next year. We won it the next year. But no, the last couple years have been so spectacularly frustrating after everything going in the right direction for 5-6 straight years. Mm-hmm. They got the best minor league rosters in it's all right there. And then it all just fell apart. New owners came in, local guys, hedge fund douchebags, but they got big money and they're like buying it, and it just went nowhere last year. So it's just one of those things. Generally speaking, baseball I'm like a lot of baseball fans. Around the All-Star break, I'll start paying attention because it's such a long season.
Right.
That it's like we've all seen so many things can happen. But all this to say, blah, 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 blah.
Being a Twins fan around the All-Star break is when I stop paying attention.
That's right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's time for football.
Right now, it's time to get excited about baseball because, as we all know, regardless of the team's ability and how well they're playing, it's a great day. Nothing better than that first time at Target Field every year.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. It's fantastic.
Nice out.
I haven't even looked at the schedule yet, but sooner than later, I will stroll across a bridge and walk to the stadium like I like to do, and I will enjoy every moment of it.
Evening games are great, but a great afternoon game with perfect weather at Target Field, even with a terrible product on the field, is still a good day spent.
So it's Monday, which means Monday morning mixtape. Let's play ball, shall we? How about let's just make it simple. No overthinking. Walk-up songs.
Got to do it.
The Twins all have their walk-up songs. They've listed them. Just you look around. Byron Buxton has Jamming by Bob Marley and the Wailers, as well as Lisa Stansfield's All Around the World. Okay.
Oh.
Didn't see that one coming.
No.
Bailey Ober has Back in Black by AC/DC. I'm just looking for rock songs. There's not a lot. Right. Although our boy Joe Ryan, good old Joe.
What's he got?
What's Joe got?
It's Only Rock and Roll, but I like it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Little number by the Rolling Stones you may be familiar with.
I've heard of that one before.
Featuring Kenny Jones on drums. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie wasn't there that day.
Yeah.
There you have it. That's there's a bunch of good ones, but I'm looking for more rock songs for the walk-up. So, Ryder, you get to pinch hit at Target Field this year. What's your walk-up song when they say "Now batting"? Pinch hitter.
Okay.
What do you want to hear?
Ignore the fact that she is the biggest Baltimore Orioles fan that we know.
Yes.
It is Joan Jett's Bad Reputation.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got to love that.
Sets the tone.
Ryder, would you also ask the MLB to make an exception and let your number be 666?
Of course.
Okay.
It was my kickball number. Yeah, it works.
Sure it was. Oh, that's fantastic. Fletcher, what do you got?
Okay, so I've got 2 different angles. But I think this one, just knowing I'm me, I'm a little round, I'm oblong shaped, I don't look like the most athletic dude in the world. I mean, the entire place goes, what is happening?
That's very true. That's exactly what happened.
And then they see round belly Paul Fletcher walking up with this lefty, because I got a decent swing. But
we'll get some people dancing,
if you get the Oompa Loompa song rocking and then follow it up with a base hit, then you're the king of the universe.
You know what? Then the Oompa Loompa song would never go anywhere ever again. Saying. It would be there for forever. But no, seriously, when Jack White puts a song together, like Queen did We Will Rock You for the purposes of an arena. When Jack White does a song like that for the purposes, I think you have to use it. Battle cry.
I just saw old Jack's hitting the road for about a year.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Nothing local yet. They're going all over the place, man. They're putting tour dates up a good bit.
Nice.
Is he doing that in the tiny little van like last time, or is he gonna get a big old bus?
They're gonna kick back a little bit. They earned their stripes on that last tour, and now they're getting out there and acting like rock stars. I think.
I like it.
651-989 Rock. That's your Luther Westside Volkswagen Talk and Text line. Share a few texts from the listeners, Paul.
Well, you know what? There were some obvious good ones that came in, but I got to jump to our dog trainer from Scranton Pear. He says, I'm no good at baseball, so it's all mixed up by the cars.
Okay. That's a bit of a stretch. Yeah. I'll allow it.
I appreciate the creativity on that.
I think Wally hit us up with another one for being no good at baseball.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wally with the Benny Hill music.
Always popular at the ballpark.
I love
Always.
it. He added yakety sax.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see here. Chris in Bloomington hit us with Big Balls from AC/DC.
Nothing wrong with AC/DC ever.
No.
He actually gave us multiple options.
Okay.
Elvis Costello's
This
Pump
is
It Up
the
would
winner,
work well
though.
too,
That's
but
good,
that is the winner.
This is the winner.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Wendell in Ohio says Sultans of Swing. See what he did there?
I see. That's a she, buddy. I know Wendell.
Wendell is a
I know
she?
Wendell from Ohio.
Okay.
Been listening to that's an old Steve Gorman sports fan right there.
Oh,
nice.
all right.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Wendell, the
Wendell.
original mixtape. Yeah, she was a huge contributor for years. What is she doing listening to this show?
I don't know. Keep them coming, Wendell.
Yeah,
We'll
no
give
kidding.
you every week.
Step up, Wendell. Let's load this bad boy up.
What is she doing listening? I think that's the wrong question.
That's great.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning. Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Monday morning. It's very nice to be back after a week away. Today on the show, check this out. We are loaded.
Yeah, we are.
At 9:25, Mary Lucia. Luch is coming in.
Nice.
We're going to be talking Timberwolves and rock music and all the stuff we like to talk about with Luch. David Cross, a very, very funny gentleman. We'll
Seriously?
be speaking with David Cross at about 8:30.
Man.
The never nude himself.
You know it, man.
I love that.
Oh, no, I blew myself. Man, Arrested Development's as good as it gets, boy. Let me tell you, Tobias Fuke, not to mention Mr. Show, one of the most influential comedy
that's
shows of all
right.
time. And in about a half hour from right now, Peter Jesperson is in town, and he's going to be in studio, and we'll be catching up with him, which is
Very
always
cool.
a treat.
Nice.
The man behind so much great music over so many great years.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Here in the Twin Cities. But right now, as it is the top of the hour, Paul Fletcher, I'm feeling Minnesota. Give me some headlines.
Amazon is expanding 1-hour delivery in Minnesota. Amazon said it's rolling out faster delivery services in hundreds of U.S. cities, including some in Minnesota, although I couldn't track down specifically which cities. Customers in more than 2,000 cities, towns, and suburban areas can choose 1 or 3-hour delivery on more than 90,000 items. The service isn't free. Prime members will pay $9.99 for 1-hour delivery and $4.99 for 3-hour delivery. And then for non-members, that's $19.99 and $14.99 respectively. But I mean, if you were in a jam and you couldn't get to, like, they have the one thing you need, I mean, $10 to get something in less than an hour in a jam?
I'm just trying my best to I'm going to be done with Amazon. That's just me. I'm just grumpy.
No, I think you look for every other option, but if you're stuck,
Sure.
it's kind of a nice service to have, I guess, available to you.
I guess so.
I think FedEx is jumping on some kind of same-day delivery stuff, so I feel like this
my
will
gosh.
expand a little bit.
So then I can choose to where I shop and just have FedEx go grab it for me? Is that what you're saying?
Something along those lines.
Enjoy it while it's as cheap as it is now, because it's only going to get a lot more expensive real soon.
See streaming platforms, for example. It's estimated as many as 8 million people participated in No Kings rallies across the U.S. Saturday, according to the organizers, with participants demonstrating against what they characterized as authoritarian overreach by the Trump administration. Roughly 3,300 events were scheduled across the country, with nearly 40 rallies held internationally. 100 to 200,000 participants were estimated here at the Twin Cities rally. Get this. Charlie Daniels is going to be resurrected to celebrate America's 250th birthday. A hologram of Charlie will headline a 4th of July concert at the Fort Campbell military base in Kentucky.
Oh my gosh.
Is he bigger in Kentucky than I realize?
He's big everywhere in the world of country music anyway.
Sure.
Charlie was as big as anybody ever has been in that realm. But it's been a hot minute. Boy.
I mean, Charlie Daniels is a badass. We can all agree on that, yeah?
It's a weird one.
But can we not find somebody alive?
I would think you could find a living artist to perform.
Well, I was thinking if you're going to hologram this sucker, go big. Go Bach or go home.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that idea. Sure.
Fort Campbell, Kentucky, 101st Screaming Eagles. That's where I grew up, right there. That's like my backyard was that ginormous Army base.
Wow.
Black Hawk helicopters, all times of the
no
day
kidding?
and night buzzing
that's
around.
nuts.
Oh yeah.
The
Black Hawk Down, Band of Brothers. That's 101st Screaming Eagles right
all
there, baby.
The 101st Airborne Division Band also going to be performing. So we will get some live musicians.
Who was stationed there in the early 60s? Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That feels familiar to me. Yeah. The Cheetozard, a flaming hot Cheeto shaped like the Pokemon Charizard, is officially in the book of Guinness World Records. The sale of Cheetozard ended in a final price. Anybody care to guess? This is a Cheeto shaped like a Pokemon, but it was a big auction, so take a guess. Ryder?
$2,800.
Okay. Steve?
In a sane world, 79 cents.
Okay, in an insane world.
Yeah, go ahead.
$87,840, making it the highest price paid for a video game likeness corn snack.
Like there's corn in a Cheeto. Please.
It's those golden auction people. They can auction anything off and get ridiculous money for them.
Fair enough.
Insane.
Yeah. I just hope somebody sees it and immediately just puts it in their mouth and eats it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Looked like a Cheeto to me.
Yeah.
And let's talk sports. The Twins are back, baby. 1-2 opening weekend.
Yeah, they're back.
They dropped 2 of 3 against the Orioles. But, hey, they're hitting the ball. They're getting on base a lot. So much so that they left the bases loaded in 2 of the final 3 innings of the game last night.
Straining base runners has been a problem for multiple seasons.
It certainly has. In both losses, they had at least 12 at-bats with runners in scoring position. So, I mean, hey, it's just a matter of getting that next hit. Once we start getting those next hits, we're going to be rolling, baby.
Yeah. You sound really optimistic.
The Minnesota Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards back in the lineup after missing a whole lot of games, 6 straight now. The pain in his knee apparently is a little bit better. I do believe part of the reason he's coming back is he needs to play every remaining game if he wants to be eligible for NBA postseason awards. That includes like all-NBA first team. If he doesn't play the minimum number of games required, he will not get any of these awards. There will not be incentives kicked in the contract, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow. Okay, so it's not an NBA title that's the motivator. It's this
stuff. I'm just saying, hey, man, along the way to the title, there's a couple $1 million in bonuses if you hit certain things.
Oh, boy.
I'm not going to tell anyone else how to spend their own money. The Minnesota Wild. Guys, what are we doing? Let's get back on that whole good hockey thing.
Remember like 2 weeks ago when there were some losses and we said, there's nothing to worry about? I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Could have clinched a playoff spot Saturday. They're going to have to wait a little bit longer. They will, of course, clinch a spot. Still comfortably in third place in the Central Division and the entire West for what that's worth.
Though.
94 points. 6 behind Dallas, 12 behind Colorado now.
Wow.
And also with 2, Colorado's got 2 games in hand, so it's even more so. Really,
yeah, we used to be like 4 points behind with a game in hand, and now it's...
Yesterday, the Final Four for the men's side of the March Madness was determined. Michigan will play Arizona. Number 3 Illinois will play in their bracket. Will play UConn. Connecticut down by 19 points to the Duke Blue Devils at several points in the game. Boy, oh boy, if you missed this one, you missed an all-timer. With 10 seconds to go, Duke holding on to a slim lead. They had to throw the ball in bounds, and that's all they had to do. Either get fouled or just pass it back and forth. They don't even have to cross midcourt. There's only 10 seconds on the clock. The game should have ended with Duke holding on to the ball, but instead... Young player gets a little panicky, thinks, I got to beat the press. I'm going to make an ill-fated pass. Anyway, it sounded like this.
72-70, Duke, 10 seconds to go. Get it into Boozer, back for Sarr, ahead, Boozer, that ball deflected and stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds, Mullins tosses it up. It's good! We're point 3! UConn goes in front! Utterly impossible! March means drama!
Yeah, it does.
Astounding.
What you just heard was a kid trying to throw a pass over. He was trapped. 2 players for UConn surrounded Braylon Boozer, and he, instead of just holding the ball, he was expecting to be fouled, I think, more than anything. And UConn, talk about some coaching. UConn didn't foul. They were like, we're not fouling. We're just going to press and try to get a turnover.
Right.
And that's exactly what they did. And then that was by the way, that was a 38-foot shot to win the game. That was not like a pull-up jumper. That was just inside midcourt. A freshman just said, let me go ahead and drop this hammer on the Duke Blue Devils.
Wow, ice in his veins, man.
Pretty incredible.
Wow.
On this day in 1987, the Indiana Hoosiers with Bobby Knight beat Syracuse in the NCAA Finals, the championship game. I remember very well Keith Smart hit a 17-foot jumper, 4 seconds to go, Indiana over Syracuse. The first and only championship game that I watched alone. So I remember me sitting in a house in Atlanta, Georgia with a bad screen, black and white TV with an antenna coming and going. Couldn't get anyone to watch it with me, and I was like, man, this kind of sucks. Oh, well. Yeah, but it was a good game. These are the things you remember in life.
Yeah.
So let's, just saying, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a lot of things going on the show today, and I hope specifically if you're in Richfield, you appreciate how deep we've gone to the bench for this show.
Oh, man, Richfield's a good spot.
Come on, it's just, what do they got going down there? They got those...
Everything?
Got all that noise still happening, the Richfield booms. Come on, man.
Yeah. Is it Frenchman's down there?
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. The Replacements, Can't Hardly Wait right there. A song that went through a whole lot of evolution from the first time Paul Westerberg had an idea to the time it made that album. There was different lyrics, there was different tempos, there was a million different versions of that song. And our guest right now probably heard every one of those. Peter Jesperson is in studio. Peter, it is a pleasure and an honor to have you. Good morning.
Likewise, Steve.
Let's go back. You are that guy. If you're not going to be in the band, you got to be Peter. That's a pretty good. You've done everything but be on stage and plug in and rock, and especially in a scene like the Twin Cities with Twin Tone Records. As a guy at a record store before that, as a guy on the radio before that, music's just been what you've been around your whole life.
That's right. I mean, I got caught the music bug real young, and I never had a thought of doing anything but.
That's a good way to go through life.
It is.
Yeah.
And
really helps not to consider other options.
Certainly, sometimes the paychecks are okay, sometimes they're not, but you just roll with it,
Your book, Euphoric Recall, which you came on the show, the old show, I guess I should say, when the book came out, which I was like, I think that was the end of 24. It was actually the end of 23, which goes to show how time goes by so quickly. Euphoric Recall, a half century as a music fan, producer, DJ, record executive, and taste maker. A tremendous read. I went through it so fast that I had to read it twice. It's like knocked it out. You gave me a copy, and then it was like 2 days later. I was like, I have to start this over now, and then I went a little more slowly. But you've certainly seen every side of the music industry, and especially and most specifically the local scene. We play the Replacements, we play Husker Du, we play the Jayhawks, we play Soul Asylum, we play a lot of the great rock music that this town has produced over the years. But let's go back, because this weekend, the Suicide Commandos played at First Ave.
Boy, did they.
Now, educate me and anyone who might not be aware, because I was not here back in the day, it all roads kind of lead back to the Suicide Commandos. That's not hyperbole at all.
It is not at all. They really, they launched the whole damn scene. I think that a lot of us wouldn't be doing what we're doing without the Commandos. They opened a door, cut a path where there hadn't been one before, played CBGB in 1976.
76, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so, they were just a very influential band, and they didn't like what they were hearing on the radio, and they did this weird kind of combo that was like Eddie Cochran meets the Archies or something. I mean, it was punk rock, but it was like comic book punk in a way.
Right.
It wasn't the angry, snarling, Sex Pistols, which I also like, but the Commandos were really fresh. And I remember very clearly we had a writer who worked at Orfolk, the record store that I worked at, and he was writing for the Minnesota Daily, Andy Schwartz, very influential man here in town, and he actually got a promo of the first Ramones album, and I remember throwing it on the turntable at Orfolk, and it started, and we all went, wow, somebody else is doing what the Commandos are doing.
Wow.
So that's,
That's pretty strong.
Yeah. So and they were great guys, and they all shopped at the store, and it was great. We'd get an import single in, like Seven Deadly Fins by Eno, right after he quit. Right after he quit Roxy Music, and the next night you saw the Commandos at the Blitz Bar basement of this club on 5th and Hennepin, and they'd be doing Seven Deadly Fins.
Right. It's like all great music scenes, the musicians, the bands, there's always a record store or two or three that really are the heart and soul. That it's like the inspiration comes in. I think what the younger generation, these poor kids today, you can't overstate just how much simple hanging around there was.
Yeah.
And so from I was in a local music scene in Atlanta in the late 80s, which was very comparable, I think, vibe-wise to what was going on here. A record store where you had musicians working there, or at least knew they were always welcome. I mean, you can't overstate the importance of that to keep people focused and interested. And then that next generation, a band like the Suicide Commandos, they start playing gigs, and lo and behold, who's seeing them and who's getting inspiration but the next round of bands.
That's exactly right. And you know, our store, like a lot of the ones you're talking about, it was a clubhouse. It really was. People hung out all the time.
That's the word.
Friday night after work, people would come in with a couple of six-packs and pass them around, and we'd listen to records and talk about who was playing that weekend, you know?
And the record store, say the name because I always get it wrong.
Or Folk Joke Opus.
Thank you. It's one of those things I would read about from far away and hear about this place and go, what is that word? But the reputation speaks for itself.
Yeah, well, it's two album titles, two of our favorite records slammed together, and that's, you know, and it was, you know, I remember moving into the neighborhood and everybody thought, you know, all the businesses around us thought we were going to be gone in a heartbeat, and we outlasted all of them. So, and there's still a record store there now.
There is one there now.
Lucky Cat Records.
That's right.
Take that.
So Saturday, Suicide Commandos played. This was their last show. I mean, they let everyone know, hey, we're doing this one last time.
Yep.
So it must have been a real, a bit of a homecoming. You probably saw a lot of faces you hadn't seen in a while.
Absolutely. And very sadly, Steve Almost, the bass player, couldn't make it. He's battling cancer and lives in New York and had to stay there for his treatments. And so that was made it a little more bittersweet than it would have been already. Right. But he's doing well, and you know, we all kind of, you know, sent all the love we could from the packed First Avenue room, and the band was fantastic, and they had so many special guests, from Bob Wilkinson from Flamingo, Hugo and Chan from the Suburbs. You know, of course, the big finale was Craig Finn and from the Hold Steady, and Bob Mould from Husker Du. I mean, it was a blast.
That's fantastic. I love that all these years, you know, everybody, you it doesn't matter what you go through, whatever heights you achieve. The favorite, any musician, you know, when you get them talking about when it all started, that's when the light comes on in the eyes. That's when you're looking back. You still have so much you want to accomplish. You're flying blind, but you're just going purely on inspiration. And, you know, looking back, you can remember those days very clearly, I'm sure. And like I said, for you too, you had to feel there's something going on in this town. There's something very real here and tangible. We don't have to go to New York and watch. It's all happening right here.
That's exactly what we felt. I thought the music that was coming out of Minneapolis at that time was every bit as good as what was coming out of New York or London, which were the big scenes at the time, of course, for punk rock and what they called new wave, which was always a confusing term to me. But isn't there always a new wave? But anyway. Yeah, we were very lucky. I was fortunate to be caught up in that scene, and the record store was a decade of my life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Peter Jesperson's in studio with us on Gorman in the Morning. Another guy that was working the boards back in those days. That I was unaware of because I wasn't here. Like a lot of Replacements fan, I first heard the name Slim Dunlap when he joined the Replacements. But locally, he'd already been around, and he was a guy that everybody was familiar with. And now there's a new compilation, a 44-song Slim Dunlap compilation called Every Little Word. Tell me about this project.
Well, Slim was Bob Dunlap, and he was the musical director for Curtis A., who was a local soul shouter, is a local soul shouter. And they had a band called Thumbs Up, and they really, for me, were kind of when the light bulb went off over my head. I hadn't paid a lot of attention to local music because I was working at the record store, and I thought there's nothing here local. You know, I mean, I had a brother who played in a bluegrass band. I loved them. I loved Colonel Ray and Glover, but I didn't pay attention to too much of the other stuff. And then a kitty corner from the record store and 26th and Lindale was the CC Club, at that time the CC Tap. And I walked in there one day to get a sandwich from the grill to go to bring back to the store, and there was this band playing. They were called Thumbs Up, and there was Kurt Olmsted, Gary Rue was the other singer at the time, and Bob Dunlap. And I was just knocked out by how great they were. For me, they opened the door, opened my ears to local music.
Right.
And without them, I don't know if I would have been on the path that I'm still on.
Wow. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, they were just amazing. I mean, I can't tell you how, seeing, Kurt and Bob together, Kurt Olmsted and Bob Dunlap together, it was just, they were a front line that I could not get enough of.
Right.
Wow. Saw them every night they played.
So when Bob did join up with the Replacements around, 87, I guess?
Yep.
Replacing Bob Stinson,
Yeah.
They didn't want another Bob. It's that simple, right? Pretty
That's
much.
exactly what happened.
So Bob Dunlap became Slim Dunlap.
Yeah, well, Westerberg was great with nicknames,
Yeah.
and he said, you can't be Bob, but you're Slim. And,
Right.
and he was tall and thin, and it fit the bill.
Hey, Devo didn't concern themselves with these things. They had Bob 1 and Bob 2 in the band.
There you go.
Right. Yeah.
Always really. Of course, they were there together, so that's a little bit of a different thing.
Yeah.
So every little word. First of all, thank you for this 44-song compilation. Is this is from all walks of Slim's career, different bands, different projects?
Well, after he left the Replacements, we made 2 albums together with our label Twin Tone on my little imprint I had called Medium Cool. There are a couple songs that are older from the very first record we made with Thumbs Up, who by the time they got into the studio or out of the studio had changed their name to Spooks. So there's a song from the Spooks EP. There's also a song of Slim solo from a compilation on Twin Tone called Big Hits of Mid-America Volume 4, not to be mistaken with Volume 3. And there's actually a live song from M80, the great festival from fall of 79 that was a groundbreaking music festival. It's the first music that's ever been officially released from that concert.
Fantastic. Now, let's talk Replacements quickly. The Let It Be box set, which came out just a few months ago, you had your hands all over that too, I imagine.
I was a co-producer on that one with Jason Jones at Rhino, the great Jason Jones, wonderful man and great guy to work with. And yeah, we had a ball going through that. We had a little bigger budget than some of the previous Replacements reissues. And so we got to actually pull out I have the 2-inch master tapes, and we transferred them all to digital and looked through turned over every rock on those tapes and found, some alternate versions, an amazing alternate version of a song called Androgynous, actually an alternate vocal. The backing track was the same, but and there was just so much a wealth of stuff, and we got a great live show from Cubby Bear in Chicago from 1984. And we put it all together, and I got a woman from the East Coast that I really love her writing, a woman named Elizabeth Nelson, to write the extensive essay. And I think it's one of the most intelligent things that's ever been written about the band. And that band has had a lot of intelligent writers, including Bob Mayer, who wrote the biography. But she brought in a fresh voice and a fresh angle, and I thought her liner notes were extremely important.
Boy, you're not kidding about that song Androgynous, because I can tell you that Let It Be was the first Replacements record I heard. Again, I'd heard of this band and they were being name checked by other people, but the first time I picked up a record, it was Let It Be. I was like, okay, finally going to see what the Replacements are all about. And I liked every song I heard, and boy, Androgynous hit, and it just stopped me in my tracks. It was just, that was definitely the gateway to, oh no, there's a depth to this that I did not understand on any level.
Yeah, I had that experience with Westerberg early on where he started writing songs. I thought, how is a 19-year-old guy writing this stuff? There was a tune in particular that just knocked me on my butt called You're Getting Married, which was a solo demo he had given to me. And we ended up putting that on one of the other reissues from 2021, the Sorry Ma Forgot to Take Out the Trash box set. And but anyway, that's he was writing above his his age group. I think,
I would say that's
in a big way.
Yeah.
And Androgynous was a very forward-thinking song. I think very groundbreaking for the time, obviously.
No doubt about it. Peter Jesperson, the book Euphoric Recall, you can get that anywhere you buy books. It is more than worth your time. What are you doing these days?
Working on, we've got a couple of different things going on. Tommy Stinson's got a new record he's working on in Montreal. So I'm always involved in the records he makes and have been since the he left the Replacements, since the Replacements broke up. So that one's cooking, and we've got another batch of Replacement stuff coming up for Rhino that I can't really quite talk about yet. But we're sketching out what the plan is for the next set of reissues. Nice. And there's all kinds of, I just work with a lot of local L.A. bands. I live out there these days. And So very much part of that scene, and it just seems like the music just keeps coming, and I keep doing my thing.
Yeah.
All the bands you love, there's always someone back there who's not, like I said, on stage that has a whole lot to do with the fact that you even know who they are. And a whole lot of people are lucky enough to say that was you in their careers. Always props and respect, sir.
Well, that's very nice. I appreciate it. I had that experience. I had all my mentors, and if I get to be one for somebody else, boy, that's the greatest honor I could ask for.
It's a beautiful thing. You know that you have a seat here anytime you're in town. Thanks so much.
Wonderful.
Please.
Thanks, Steve.
Good to see you again, brother.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming in.
Peter Jesperson. All right, we're back in about 5 minutes and 2 songs.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning. Monday, March the 30th on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Very happy to be back after a week off. Paul Fletcher, I'm feeling Minnesota. Lay it down, brother. Give me some headlines.
All right. The public visitation for the beloved hockey writer Jesse Pierce was held yesterday afternoon at Muller Memorial Funeral Home in White Bear Lake. There were hundreds in attendance. The latest on the investigation regarding the accident is that there was no intent for a fire to be set. Most people probably know the story by now, but we haven't had a chance to address it, which is why I wanted to bring it up. Jessie Pierce, her 3 children, and even the family dog passed away in a house fire, for those that aren't already aware.
Jessie was, we've had her on the show, half a dozen times probably over the last year and a half, whatever it is. What an absolute burst of enthusiasm and excitement, and just like she's just a walking high five.
She was a beam of light.
And a real champion of hockey, not just the Wild or the Frost, but, youth hockey. Her life was hockey. And that community, not to mention, obviously, her family and close friends, everybody is just reeling from this. This is over a week ago, and it's still something that's just weighing so heavily on all of us here, and it'll continue to do so. So our hearts are with everybody who knew Jessie. She was truly one of a kind.
Absolutely. It's estimated as many as 8 million people participated in No Kings rallies Saturday, according to organizers, with participants demonstrating against what they characterized as authoritarian overreach by the Trump administration. Roughly 3,300 events were scheduled across the country, with nearly 40 rallies held internationally. 100 to 200,000 participants were estimated at the Twin Cities rally. Something we just talked a bit about with Peter Jesperson. Project Hail Mary had a massive weekend and dominated the box office for a second weekend in a row, raking in $54.5 million, bringing its total to $164.3 million domestically. It's been a while since we've had a box office smash.
It says a lot about Ryan Gosling, because he's on screen the whole movie, and there's a lot of that movie where it's just him. And there's not a whole lot of people that, you don't think about it until you see it.
Yeah.
Castaway is the most famous example. Tom Hanks by himself for well over 90 minutes. Not a whole lot of men or women, not a lot of actors are going to maintain an audience by themselves. And the cool thing, it is a good movie, clearly, and it's very successful, but no green screen. They built all those sets. There's no CGI.
Oh, damn.
I mean, they show some spaceships, and that's not real.
Yeah.
But the set, every time you see him in a spaceship, it's built, it's put together, and it's real. It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Talking to my movie nerd friends, I said, if you would have surprised me and said, hey, check out this story they just released, that they secretly got Ryan Gosling up into space and actually filmed it in space, I'd have said, oh, yeah, okay, I believe you.
Yeah.
It was so realistic, the universe and the world that they created, for sure. People on TikTok are hyping a new trend where you add protein to your morning coffee by dumping in some yogurt. Here's a TikToker talking about it.
Starbucks large black iced coffee, flavored yogurt. It's all they had, man. It's all they had. Coffee yogurt boy, coffee yogurt boy. The fact that I went to get Starbucks coconut water yogurt, brought my cinnamon, all of this, and my flight takes off in 3 minutes. That's dedication to the coffee yogurt lifestyle.
Okay.
I didn't know there was a coffee yogurt lifestyle happening. I know some protein junkies, but yeah.
Every time I look at photos from like the mid-20th century, I think we just need to go back to black coffee and cigarettes. Stop drinking water. Stop worrying about protein. Everybody looks good. Everyone's svelte.
Well, it's because they were active, though.
We've just lost the plot.
They did things back then.
Get into our Mad Men era? Is that what we're doing?
Everybody, we should all wear suits.
Yes.
Start
drinking at 11 a.m.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking I might try some black coffee and like Greek yogurt because they say protein's good for you. They say there's health benefits to the coffee, which I've never drank. Maybe this is my gateway.
Let me tell you something. When you start drinking at lunch, you definitely are like, well, if I'm going to have that second martini, I definitely cannot have the fries.
Yeah.
It all balances out.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Sure. Let's talk sports. The Minnesota women's basketball had a great season, 24-9 overall. They came up short against UCLA Friday night, but wonderful job up until then. The state of Minnesota, really, really well represented in the women's game. And in fact, no state had more participants in the Sweet 16 than Minnesota.
Wow.
Texas,
yeah.
Florida, California had 10 and 11 each. Minnesota had 13 women in the Sweet 16.
Wow.
That's a very, very strong state of affairs.
Lucky number.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. The Twins are back in business. If your business is losing 2 of every 3 baseball games you play. Season opening series in Baltimore. Hitting the ball well, but not when we have guys in scoring position. We left 12 people. Let's see. It was 12 there were 12 at-bats with runners in scoring position in 2 of the 3 games in both the losses.
Didn't advance any of them.
Just got to swing the bat, fellas.
It's kind of a bad combo when you're bad at leaving players stranded on base and bad at putting players on base.
There were
later.
also 3 base running errors yesterday. 3 outs from the base runners. It's all right. They got plenty of time to figure it out.
No matter what, we still got $2 beers at Target
That's
Field
right,
on Fridays
we do.
and Saturdays before the game starts.
That's right, we
boy.
do. Anthony Edwards will be back on the court for the Timberwolves when they play next. Jaden McDaniels, however, is now apparently out of contention briefly. We're not sure how long he's going to be sitting, but he's got some right knee soreness, as like Anthony Edwards himself. Went to a game, saw the very now famous Houston game last week. Rosemary and I went down the greatest overtime comeback in league history.
Oh, cool.
The Timberwolves pulled off last Wednesday night or Thursday night, whatever night it was. Pretty incredible game. And McDaniels left that game late and didn't return. He was not in the overtime period. And I was like, I don't like that at all. And it was like, as it turns out, there's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. If this team gets back and gets healthy, they will be hopefully a top 4 seed in the playoffs. I don't anticipate them going very far once those playoffs begin.
Yuck.
Oh, boy.
Just haven't seen enough this year to tell me that they're ready to flip that switch. The Minnesota Wild, speaking of flipping a switch, guys, anytime, let's go. They've dropped 6 of their past 9 games. The Canucks come to town Thursday. Always a good day to turn things around and get a little hot streak going.
I joked about falling, like let's strategically fall bound to the wild card spot. That was a joke. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's get it together.
Let's get it together. On this day in 1991, Duke University beat the defending champion UNLV Runnin' Rebels in the semifinals, 79-77, and that was astonishing. UNLV had 45 straight wins. They had won the title the year before, gone undefeated up until the semis, and Duke beat them. Duke then beat Kansas, and then a year later the Fab Five to go back-to-back in their title run.
Right.
That all started with a huge win on this day in 1991.
Wow.
Unlike yesterday, when the Duke Blue Devils against the UConn Huskies.
Yeah, baby.
Winner goes to the Final Four. Duke had a 15-point lead. I'm sorry, a 19-point lead in the dying moments of the first half. In the third quarter, as many as an 18-point lead, but it didn't matter because with 10 seconds left, all Duke had to do was get the ball in bounds and either get fouled or just dribble out the clock, and instead this happened.
72-70, Duke, 10 seconds to go. Get it into Boozer, back for Sarr, ahead, Boozer, that ball deflected and stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds, Mullins tosses it up. Oh! It's good! We're point 3! UConn goes in front! Utterly impossible! March means drama!
It's awesome.
Duke trying to beat the press, has a turnover. There's a quick back and forth to the players for UConn. That shot that you just heard, the kid Mullins hit, it was about a 35, 36-footer.
Yeah, it was no joke.
Boy, and you could tell there was no rim on that. Just that sound on that net.
Yes.
That's now 2 straight years where the Duke Blue Devils have left the tournament in gut-wrenching fashion.
That's too bad.
These things happen.
That's so sad.
Hager City. What's up, Hager City? Glad to have you with us this morning.
Wow.
92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning. Minnesota's 92 KQRS. REM right there. It's the end of the world as we know it. From the fifth album, Document, 1987, if memory serves.
Yeah.
REM, very famously from Athens, Georgia. And a club there, one of the legendary rock clubs, the First Avenue of Athens, if you will, the 40 Watt.
The 40 Watt?
The 40 Watt. So named because when they first opened the club, it was so small they had one 40 Watt light bulb to illuminate the stage. The 40 Watt has gone through some changes over the years, much bigger than it used to be. But it's a great club in all of its incarnations.
Nice.
And our guest, David Cross, is joining us right now. And I mention all that because his new latest stand-up, The End of the Beginning of the End, was in fact taped at the 40 Watt. David, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
That's the coolest thing I've heard a comedian doing in a really long time. The 40 Watt in Athens, a legendary rock club. I love the idea of you taking cameras into a club and filming a comedy special, and people are standing, and probably a little bit different energy than the average comedy special, I would imagine.
Yeah, very much. I mean, that was the intention, and I used to, way back when I would tour, I'd play music venues, have a band open up, do 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then no break, and I would go right up, and I just do stand up until I had to pee, and then and it's just a different energy, It's fun. I think it's you become aware of that with this special,
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, we call all of these specials, but this one does actually feel special. And just the clip I saw instantly, and it didn't even hit me. It took a few seconds to realize what is so different about this, but that's exactly what it is. And that energy. Now, I've been to the 40 Watt many times in all of the various versions of the 40 Watt. So it just warmed my heart to see. You are a guy from Georgia. Let's go back to the day. Were you going to Athens as a high school guy, as college age? Were you going to see bands at the 40 Watt back then?
I don't know if I ever went to a show at the 40 Watt when I was in high school, but I definitely was going up to Athens with other friends to go hang out. And also, after I graduated high school, I took I stayed in Atlanta that year. And all my friends, I mean, all of them went to UGA.
Right.
So and I tried to go. I applied and I did not get accepted. So it was kind of a bummer. But I'd go, I'd drive up and hang out and spend the weekend up there and crash in a, dorm floor or something. And it was great. It was a really cool vibe and scene, and
Right.
Yeah.
It was a great mix. You had UGA football and all the Southern big college university frat scene, and then this incredibly artistically driven music scene commingling. It was a pretty fascinating time, to be sure. Did you? And I've asked this I know a lot of comedians that play music or thought about music. I know a lot of musicians over the years who actually flirted with comedy. I think there's a lot of similar brainwaves. As a teenager, did you ever think about playing music? Did you own a guitar? Was that ever a part of the plan?
Man, I tried. I think if I had really concentrated, I believe I would have been a good musician. But I guess I just didn't have the patience to get through that hard part of learning more than 3 or 4 chords. And and I tried to play the banjo. I tried to learn the banjo. I got really into banjo.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's hard.
Yeah, that is hard.
Like, you look at a violin and you're like, how hard can it be? And
pretty hard.
It's hard. And I gave it a fairly good shot, and then I thought I still have my banjo, and it was a gift. And during COVID, I was like, that's it. I'm going to learn.
There it is.
And I didn't.
Yeah, nah. Hey,
I stand up is what I should be doing.
Right. So let's talk about that. What age were you when you finally, you stopped thinking about it? You got up and did your first set of stand up. Was this still in Atlanta, or was it when you had moved on?
No, it was in Atlanta. It was the week before my 18th birthday.
Oh man.
And that was the first open mic I ever did after going to see a couple open mics, because I was stand up mic curious, and and I went, and then I was like, oh, I could do this, I think, maybe, and I finally did it, and it was ridiculously well received, and then of course, as it should happen, I bombed like the next 30 times. Did the same exact set, but
sure.
But yeah, it was. I spent a little over a year, maybe a year and a half in Atlanta doing open mics, and then kind of graduating to hosting, shows with bigger acts, and getting stuff here and there, and then going out on the road a little bit, and then I moved to Boston. And that's when I really started, I wasn't dabbling in it so much as just like doing 3-4 sets a week, you know.
David Cross is with us on Gorman in the Morning. I should mention you will be here at the Acme Comedy Club June 19th and 20th. 4 shows. Speaking of stand-up, that's a pretty great club. Its reputation speaks for itself. And then your new special, The End of the Beginning of the End, the one we were discussing, you shot at the 40 Watt in Athens. That's available April 7th, exclusively on YouTube. I'm a fan of your stand-up.
Well, it's actually, let me say, if you want to see it right away, if you cannot wait, if you absolutely can't wait,
right,
it's on my website, officialdavidcross.com, and you can go there and watch it now, or you can wait and watch it for free, probably with ads. I don't know how that works. On the 800-pound gorilla site, but you can watch it ad free. I know that on my website.
But waiting 9 days is so, 2022. So let's just watch it now.
David, I have to mention, so as an actor, obviously Arrested Development, Mr. Show, which you created with Bob Odenkirk, a million things you've been in that everybody knows. I have to shout out Station 11. Not only one of my favorite things I've seen in a long time, but your episode, your character specifically, really just fantastic, man. I mean, did not see.
Oh, thank you very much.
Didn't see that much heart coming from the start of that character.
It was. I think in great part because of the times we were in. The COVID era. I loved that series. I loved that the storytelling and the acting. I just thought I was really, really impressed with the whole thing. And at the end of it, I just felt so hopeful in a way I did not expect to. Emotionally, I felt very hopeful.
Boy, hey,
and just the idea of, without hitting the nail on the head, as it were, but the idea of art in our lives, in a human being's life, the importance of it. I was really blown away by the show. I thought it was great.
I would echo every one of those sentiments, and you were a big part of that. Thanks so much. I love that show. I've been banging that gong for 3 years now, making everybody I know watch it. David,
it was really good.
David's at Acme Friday and Saturday, June 19th and 20th. I imagine we will all be there at least at one of those shows.
Yeah.
The new special, you can go to his website now and see it, or wait for YouTube on April 7th. I know you're a busy man. Thanks so much for calling in. It's great to talk to you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you.
We will, as a family, the Royal Gorman, just on occasion, probably every 3 or 4 times a year, there'll be a day when someone just puts on Arrested Development. And then before you know it, we're all just in front of the TV for 2 hours laughing at episodes we've all seen 15 times.
Yeah.
And the consensus is always... he's not the biggest character in the show, Tobias Fuke, David Cross, but pound for pound, and on a show where every single scene and every line is basically a joke, he's batting 1,000 on that show. If he's just in the background of a family meeting scene, I'm watching him.
Yes.
That character is unlike anything else in TV history.
Yeah, he steals just about everything for sure.
Absolutely incredible.
Agree.
Hey, we still got Mary Lucia coming up in the next hour. We've got a Monday morning mixtape. We're rocking some songs about it with opening day now, right behind us, and with baseball upon us. What's your walk-up song? If you're going to get an at-bat with the Twins, what song do you want them to blast over the PA? You can let us know. 651-989-ROCK is the Luther Westside Volkswagen talk and text line. We will share a few more of those as we go. Oh, before, I don't want to forget this. We are putting big bucks on the line for the men's basketball tournament. 92 KQRS and Apollo Heating, Air, and Plumbing are bringing you the $1 million bracket challenge. Check your bracket at 92kqrs.com. See how you are doing. We're down to the nitty-gritty here. We're basically, if your final 4 are still alive,
you're doing well.
You're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
The top local bracket will win tickets to Guns N' Roses August 8th at the Mystic Amphitheater, as well as $1,000 towards a new AC unit or furnace from Apollo Heating, Air, and Plumbing.
Pretty sweet package.
Really sweet package.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92kqrs.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. As it turns out, the Rolling Stones are pretty good at disco. Mary Lucia is in studio, and this is not the first time you've thought of the Rolling Stones today.
It's actually the second.
That's right.
I thought of Keith this morning. Just for out of nowhere, I was thinking of George Harrison's Spiritual Journey, and I remember Keith's response was, I draw the line at Swami's.
It's a good line.
It was a thought.
Hey, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's always good to know where your lines are.
Yeah.
And Keith has always understood his own.
Always.
Mary Lucia, the book, What Doesn't Kill Me Makes Me Weirder and Harder to Relate to, a memoir, is a spectacular accomplishment. What a great read.
I appreciate it so much. All the support is great. We were just discussing that, selling a book can be different, especially if it's your first sort of foray into that writing world. But it's all been graciously received, and I'm just plodding on doing all the things that I'm supposed to do. So happy to hear that people have liked it and recommended it, and I couldn't be happier.
You thread a lot of great needles in this book. There's some very, very dark content, and it never comes across as anything other than, can you believe how nuts this is? I mean, it's not a woe is me at all. It's a, no, this is really weird, and it was hard and tough, but it's all in the grand scheme of things. Really well done. That's a difficult tone to achieve. But it's only possible because it's real. You're not, that's you. And therefore, I guess what I'm trying to say is good job, because from the brain to the heart to the page is not always a straight line.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was excellent assemblance of
I
words
like that.
there.
That's
Yeah,
good.
very good.
Well, every now and again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's what you do.
So
There's that.
Mary, this book is how much did you write versus how much was released and printed?
I probably would say that it was cut in half.
Yeah,
And
I'm not surprised.
That's normal, right?
Yeah.
For a first time, maybe memoir.
Well, because there's not an ounce of fat, so it's not like a lot of books where it's like, hey, can you give us a few more pages? When you're reading this, it's very clear that, boy, this is just, there's not an extra. I mean, you can tell there was plenty to choose from.
Yes,
is my point.
There was. And ultimately, I've ended up referring to it as a fun-sized grenade.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, no filler.
That book's available anywhere you get books. And do you have anything coming up soon in the Twin Cities where you're going to be hanging out and talking about the book?
I do. Actually, it has been nominated as the best memoir nonfiction for the Minnesota Book Awards.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
That's going to be happening at the Ordway, I think, in May. But I'm just trying to pay someone to soy bomb me if I get up there.
There you go.
I've got to know someone who would go shirtless and
Sure.
just interrupt a book award.
I'd keep a lid on that concept because you know more than one person, and you might have a lineup. Shirtless soy bombs happening right there.
I mean, if you want somebody that looks ridiculous shirtless, I'd nominate myself.
Naturally, yes. And I just want
I'm
that.
there for you.
I want that headline: shirtless man dragged off during Minnesota Book Awards at the Ordway.
Now, are there proper people voting on this, or can we vote?
No, I think it's probably mostly book people.
Fancy
Right.
people.
Proper people.
Proper.
Fancy bookers, we
Right.
call them.
All right.
As you are the official Timberwolves correspondent for Gorman in the Morning.
Yeah.
We spoke briefly off air. I was at the bizarre game last week where the Timberwolves took the Houston Rockets through 48 minutes of tied basketball and then found themselves trailing in overtime by 13 before then turning around and scoring 15 straight to win the game. That's an NBA. That's the greatest overtime comeback in NBA history. But then again, they followed that up by just getting pancaked by the Pistons. You follow this team very, very, very closely and with a whole lot of passion. How are we feeling?
We are feeling like we need some sort of emotional hotline that I can call because I am so invested emotionally that it can affect my entire day negatively or positively. Like right on top of that overtime win. We also, first time in 22 years, beat the Celtics in Boston at the Garden. So we've been doing these things, and we've been doing some of these things without Anthony Edwards. Well, I kind of have been feeling all along that these injuries that they claim may not be so serious as we think.
Okay.
I wonder if it wasn't a strategy maybe on Finch's part to see, let's sit Anthony down, let's see what the rest of these people can do.
Sure.
Let's see how he then fits into it. Because again, no one's denying that when he's on fire, you don't want to bench him and you don't want to sit him or keep passing the ball. But, there has to be a way that Anthony Edwards' talent can work with the truly talented other members of that team.
Sure.
Now, I'm also
Interesting.
I'm not a stats person and I'm not a math person, but I did read that like the last 7 losses, accumulatively, if they had made free throws, would not have been an issue. So don't get me. When Rudy's at the line, it's this. I can't watch. It's like a brick thrown at the moon. And it's terrible. I mean, I really feel like if it's... one time somebody said to me, and I don't know anything about golf, but they said you cannot be a good golfer unless your putting game is tight because you can win and lose the game in those 1 or 2. And I kind of apply that to free throws. They're called free throws. So the assumption is you're going to make this. It's easy. You practice this. And for whatever reason, we are absolutely terrible.
It's the great what if throughout basketball history. The sport gives you something. It's not only is it called a free throw, they call the line the charity stripe.
Exactly.
It's by design. I mean, look, I was an okay high school basketball player and I shot almost 90% in high school.
I know.
Right. That's just a guy.
Throws, right.
I mean, there was other things I was not able to accomplish. But the fact that we have so many players in this amazing sport, funnily enough, most of them American-born, who just have a real hard time with free throws. I love that at least our French guys batted them too.
Yeah.
Because those international players, they're drilled. They hit their free throws.
Oh, yeah. And there's a part of me also that feels that during that whole 3-card Monty, Mike Conley, like, where's he going? Is he coming back? Are we paying him? I just, for funsies, had to look up and see how much Joe Ingles is paid to sit on the bench with a towel around his neck, crack-wise. $3 million.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's a good clubhouse guy and maybe makes them laugh. But I kept thinking, I couldn't figure out that Connolly triangle. And until he then came back and actually performed and played in the last 2 games poorly, I might add. But I've loved that bench. I loved Bones. I think Ayo had to take a minute before he could actually find his place in that team. And clearly what I've noticed with Anthony Edwards sitting out is that when Ant is in, he's controlling the pace of the game.
Sure.
It's a lot slower.
Yep.
And I think that when it's been Ayo, when it's been Randall, I think it's moving a little faster. And I honestly think that's what they have to continue.
Well, it's Ant doesn't need to be that black hole if he can just get out and run and keep it moving like that. The playoffs are right around the corner. You need obviously 7. You want 8, and that's all you need. You don't need 9. You want that 8-man rotation. So I agree with you. With Ant, it has been an opportunity to see what everyone else has got. I like that they brought Kyle Anderson back. I like Slow-Mo. I've always been a fan of his game.
Except that hairline.
The hairline's a concern.
Ooh, it's like a beret on wrong.
It's something weird, yeah.
Yeah, I really feel as though...
I got a guy for that.
Yeah. I really think that there has been a complete, let's just see what works, let's throw... I cannot decide which lineup I think works best.
Yeah.
And the team has proven themselves to be so great, but Naz Reid... At that Pistons game, I think he was crying on the bench. He had his head in hands and a towel over his head, and he was terrible that day.
Yeah.
And of course, we can say everyone has a bad day, and I'm not the first person that says fire the coach. I have no idea what Finch's demeanor is like in the locker room. I don't know if he's incredibly inspiring or if it's his sort of subdued. Private nature of how he speaks to them works for them. But I just watched, because I was in the dumps after that shellacking, I watched an interview with Kevin Garnett, and it was the most inspiring, and it was recent. So he was talking about the team and how they reminded him of his round of play. Anyway, he was so into it and so excited that I thought, if we do get rid of Finch, Kevin Garnett. I'm sure he's not. Maybe the job doesn't pay well.
Yeah,
do you think?
Yeah. Boy, KG, that kind of intensity. I can see it as a player for 82 games, but as a coach, that's a whole different. It's a whole different mind wave.
Let's go the other way. I mean, Finch, how much emote. I mean, the best the Wolves have ever played is when Finch has gotten thrown out of the game and shown just a tiny bit of expression and emotion and passion.
Right.
But like I said, again, I'm not really one of those people to say, oh, it's got to be the coach. It's got to be the coach. No, but if it should come down, maybe Alex Rodriguez would think, Kevin's here.
Here's what we do.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's be innovators, all right?
Right.
We have 2 head coaches.
Yeah.
Finch is when they need a soft touch.
Yes.
And KG is like, hey, you tag in like World Wrestling Federation, tag in KG. Now it's KG's job to be the head coach. And it also sounded to me earlier like you were saying they should trade Anthony Edwards.
I love that you picked up on that. I got to say that there is not a player on that bench that I do not think has wicked potential. I've either seen it, I believe it. You bring in Slow-Mo back. I mean, that was, I guess, were you really happy about that, Steve?
No, I've always liked this game.
Yeah.
I think for the postseason, when you got to go see a team maybe 7 times in 2 weeks, you got to have people that you are just rely upon. I mean, he's reliable, he's steady, and he's the Slow-Mo thing helps him where he doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Right.
I mean, there are times when you would say maybe a little alacrity would be nice, but otherwise he's dependable. Is my thinking.
I believe too that again with the trade and when Ayo first came in, I just knew it was going to be they're going to have a few games to settle into it. But then with the injuries and this person's out and this variable, I could just go through the roof now that Jaden McDaniels, one of my favorite players ever, is
great. I really was so happy to see him playing the other night, and when he didn't come out for the entire overtime, I was like, oh no, what are you doing?
I know.
It's too bad. He's the guy. I said to my wife, I said, if this kid would just accept that he's as great as he is and could be, like if he just had a little bit more of that, and in basketball, that alpha thing's very real.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm taking over the game here because he can do whatever he wants to do.
I agree.
When he just gets like mad enough to decide to do it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a certain level of humor that I find in every amazing shot. They're showing the faces and reactions, and Jaden is just like a stone cold sniper. He does not reveal anything, and I don't know what TJ Shannon's true gifts are, but Finch has a lot of belief in that guy, and even more so than Clark County Jail, who I love seeing him play. But there is a certain amount of, I don't know if we just need to find the right combination. I've heard Finch say, I'm not going to start Bones because Bones' job is to come off the bench and light a fire. And I get that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Luch is in studio talking Timberwolves. What do you got, Paul?
Luther Westside Volkswagen talking text line. Serpico, one of our favorites. He wants to know, is there going to be an audio version of the book, Mary?
Yes. I guess they consider that after it's sold more than 100 copies. I don't know. I think so. I mean, I'm imagining yes, and I would probably be a good fit to do it.
I think that would make a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Still sound pretty great on that mic, sister.
Oh, I think so, too.
I'll tumble for you.
Oh, listen to you. All right, so the playoffs are right around the corner, so that means we're going to have to get you back in sooner than later.
Yes. And tonight they play. I mean, they've been saying that the Wolves, the end of their regular season, is one of the toughest. They're not a lot of these games are away. I don't think that makes a huge difference or not. I don't think we've ever used home court advantage.
No, I agree.
Win on the road, so that's not a big thing. But it will be interesting to see what they do when they play the Pistons again.
Mary Lucia's book, What Doesn't Kill Me Makes Me Weirder and Harder to Relate to, a memoir, is an absolute spectacular read. I couldn't recommend anything more highly. It's always a pleasure.
Always.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm coming in whenever you want.
All right, we got just enough time left for the last word.
Let's hear it.
Sometimes history is made by, legendary figures and characters. Julius Caesar, Abraham Lincoln, whoever.
I know those dead guys.
And sometimes it's a guy named Gunter Schabowski.
What?
You remember Gunter Schabowski? November 9th, 1989. I remember Gunter Schabowski, an East German politician, spokesperson for the party, who got in front of the assembled world media to discuss the fact that East Germany, and specifically in the city of East Berlin, was contemplating and in fact decided to slowly over time start to allow East Berliners to go to the west side.
Oh,
they're going to let them come through checkpoints. They have an entire strategy. They're going to slowly roll out some new freedoms. So East Berliners, who for 28 years had not been allowed to go to the western part of the city after they built that horrible wall, they were like, hey, we're going to be able to travel back and forth. We're going to ease restrictions. We just want everybody to know. And a reporter at some point during the press conference, when there was a lot of furor, the media there was like, oh, my God, there's a lot of hubbub.
Yeah.
And Gunter Schabowski, spokesperson for the East German government, was asked, well, so when are you going to open the wall? And at that particular moment, he couldn't find his notes, and he got a little flustered. And so he said, immediately, without delay.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
And that's why that very night, tens of thousands of people went to the wall. There were 6 checkpoints, and they were overrun immediately. And suddenly, all the guards were like, oh, screw it. And when you go back and look at the news footage and you see just literally thousands of East Berliners running to the west, West Berliners got sledgehammers out and they were breaking down the wall. It all happened in one night. And everybody's like, well, that was a weird plan. Well, that wasn't the plan. But yet again, Gunter Schabowski. Oops. I don't know why. And later he's like, I don't know why I said that. Anyway.
Panicked.
Sometimes, history lies in the spokesperson, the poorly chosen spokesperson.
Sure.
Wow.
Just saying.
Sure.
It's the ultimate oopsie daisy right there.
Nice one, Gunter. Tomorrow on this very show, our buddy Ryan Gary, criminal defense attorney. Ryan Gary will join us. If you have any questions, if you need to know something from a criminal defense attorney like Ryan Gary, feel free to send us some questions at 651-989-ROCK.
Yeah, and this is free legal advice.
That's
so
it.
I would jump on it. I'm also going to say we will keep you anonymous. So even if your name is in our text machine or you send an email or whatever, this is all off the record. So let them rip.
Let's go.
Heck yeah.
Looking very forward to
barred.
that. Tomorrow we will also be giving away Goo Goo Dolls tickets.
Nice.
You're going to have to play a little game we call Wisconsin, Texas, Florida. WTF My Edition.
Oh, all right.
Thank you very much.
All right, locked and loaded.
On this very station up next, hey, Lisa Miller coming in. How cool is that? Always a pleasure.
Indeed.
To have Lisa Miller on these very airwaves. Other than that, let's rock. We'll be back tomorrow. See ya.
Gorman in the Morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the Morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.